It's after monetize this, and what's up, everybody? It's me. It's Joe. Just making some food, something to eat. Do a little note to self. I figured, since I couldn't sleep after monetize this because I was almost asleep after a good old time with my wife Leah. But then as we were done with our good old time, at 8 a.m. or at 7 a.m. rather, and my youngest woke up, and so I am now not going to bed. So, because Leah's asleep, and well, I heard my son ruffling around downstairs saying he's hungry, and I'm like, well, time to. I'm getting up. So I guess I'm gonna be up, and I'm gonna be making food, and probably gonna be waiting until about noontime for Leah to wake up, and then I'll probably go to bed. So it's gonna be a interesting next 4 hours, you know. Got some food I'm making here. Hope everybody had a good time on monetize this tonight. Had a little scare. We got a Junebug coming on Corrupted tomorrow. Guess he had a little bit of a issue tonight, and people were really worried about him. I was worried about him. I was talking to him. During monetize this, I was actually distracted a little bit because I was trying to talk to him here or there. Make sure he was alright. I guess, you know, people were hitting me up saying it's messed up that, like, Bullfrog or somebody, and people were, like, exploiting him being live, being like, oh my god, he's gonna kill himself, like, and they were, like, doing YouTube streams on it, and little Twitter streams on it, and shit. I mean, you know, tiny little streams no one saw, I guess, on, Twitter or Periscope or Facebook or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Anyway, just, they got taken down, or they took them down or whatever, but I just thought that was fucking, I don't know, dude, that's weird. But hey, man, listen, people are weird, you know. People will do anything for a click or clout or something. I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe they were just worried about him and they thought they were doing the right thing, but I know a lot of people were like, that's sick, man, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I'm not really surprised by anything anymore, you know, unfortunately. But hey, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, he's okay, luckily. He better be okay, because he's gonna be on Corrupted tomorrow. So, man, monetize this was a lot of fun tonight, but it really fizzled at the end. We were like killing it at the first couple hours, and I would say the first 2 to 3 hours we were on a roll, and then we all kind of just crashed. Like, it was like weird how it happened. Because I heard last week, you know, Dave was saying, you know, it's one of the best shows in a while, and you know, he was just on fire, and he was just pumped up for last week. And I thought we had an okay follow-up, but it wasn't as fiery as last week, but it was a good time. But we definitely crashed the last couple hours. Then, like, we all got a resurgence where we didn't want to be funny anymore, but we were talking, like, about politics or something to end the show. So it was kind of funny because the show really had something for everybody. First 2.5, 3 hours were, like, just whacked out. Then we had a little bit of an hour and a half of a chill lull, where we had to determine the winner of the wheel, Jman from KC, 2 weeks in a row. And then we kind of had the last hour and a half where we fizzled around about politics and shit. Yeah, so it was a weird night. But I had fun, and people were crazy, and I had a really good time, man. And so, got some questions here from some people that we're going to... I'm burning my fingers. What up? We got people asking questions. We got one here that's Joe, when is Talk Spooky to Me gonna air on Patreon with Monica and Leah? That's from Kravitz. Talk Spooky to Me probably tomorrow, probably Sunday. It could be Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, really, but I think it's gonna be Sunday because I think they're gonna record it today. So assuming that they record it all today, or finish recording, because we already got one recorded, but they're recording another one today, so this one will drop Sunday, and then the other one will drop next week. So, depending on what they do and what happens, you know, we'll see. But, it should be, I'm looking forward to that. It did so well on Patreon. I can't believe how well it did. And, what's up, brother? You can't hear sound? Oh, yeah, it's a little low, huh? Let me turn it up. I was on mute, that's why. So, I got another one here. Is this Jaff 94? This might not be Jaff 94. This might be Jaffrey. I don't know if this is Jaffrey or Jaff 92. I don't know. Either way, it was somebody with the name Jaff, and I'm sorry that, but it cut off your name or whatever. Blah blah blah. Why don't you? Why? Would you ever do another show with bring JB back or whatever? Well, it's not up to me whether I bring JB back. JB left the show, so it's not really. It's not that I wouldn't bring him back. He left the show, so I didn't want him to leave. Just go watch the last episode with him on the show. Yeah. Oh no, that's sad. Yeah. So yeah, no, definitely, man. I always, yeah, we were. Yeah, he left. He left. So, what are you gonna do? Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, he's definitely would have never. He would have been here right now. We were killing it back then when he was still on there. But he wanted to take a, you know, he needed to go basically and go away. But yeah, appreciate that. What else we got? Oh yeah, I just stuck a finger in my. Ugh, what now? Jesus. 3 seconds, something. We got Maxwell 1400 says, what do you enjoy more, doing the wrestling shows or the non-wrestling shows? That's a good question. I don't know, there was a time when I first started this, obviously it was all wrestling, so it was all wrestling, and then when I started meeting people because of this, because I was just doing wrestling, but when I met my former friend and co-host at the time, Tommy, and then a couple of his friends and my friend, and then we met Jesse, and then it became even funner. It became fun. It was fun to do the wrestling shows, but then it became kind of funner to do the hangout shows we did when we created Monetize This and everything. Actually, you know, we'd always just done hangout shows, and I wanted to come up with a name and sort of create a live podcast, and I came up, I think, yeah, I did come up with Monetize This as a name, but it was like we were all talking, and it was like, well, they'll never monetize this because we'll never get this monetized because we're fucking so vulgar and all these things, right? And we're playing copyright music all the time. And even back then on YouTube when things weren't as strict, that's the whole name of the show was like, hey, monetize this, you know, good luck monetizing this. That ain't gonna happen. So the whole idea of the show, you know, was that. And then then we started adding donations later on, and then that sort of became a thing, like, it's a double thing, like, you know, monetize, hey, try to monetize this, but also monetize this, like, you guys monetize it with donations. A lot of people thought that's where it came from, but that's not where it came from. It was originally, it was more like a in-your-face type of thing, like, hey, yeah, fucking try to monetize this shit, it ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna make any money off this shit, because we're gonna be so vulgar, and we're gonna just use copyright music and stuff like that, so we knew that wouldn't happen. And so that was part of the joke. So it was kind of funny. But that's where that came from. So yeah, I don't know. Now it's weird. It's gone back and forth to where, like, sometimes I enjoyed the non-wrestling stuff more. I'm kind of enjoying the wrestling stuff right now quite a bit because, I don't know, like, I feel like there's a little bit of a newer audience watching my wrestling stuff. You know, and they're more, like, sort of excited about things. And also, there's just it's interesting to watch all these different wrestling companies, what they're doing right now. I think a few months ago, or a month or so ago, and even a couple months ago, I was sick of the wrestling because it was just like, oh my god, more of this shit, and it's stupid. And I looked forward to monetize this and all these other things. But now, I don't know. It's hard to say. It kind of bounces around, to be honest, man. No? This phone is all messed up. I'm eating some stuff. But, you know, somebody said, who is this? Seaver? Oh, no, yeah, Seaver. Seabert? Oh, it's Seabert. I get it, Seabert. Like S-E... Okay, I get it now, Seabert. Who knows who the hell this really is? Who the hell is Seabert? What the fuck with that noise, dude? Are you serious? Yeah, so Seabert says, Joe, what's up with you? This is definitely like somebody with a troll name or something. What's up with you with Scott the other day? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man, I heard that the guy was like crying and he was gonna kill himself or something and all these crazy things. And you know, I don't care how messed up. I don't care how messed up. You know, I don't care how much we don't get along, or how much I think you might be a bad. You know, maybe you know, you hate me or I hate you, whatever. I never want to see anybody like that. So like, I had to. Yeah, I gave him a call, you know. I mean, I've heard everybody else and their mother call the guy who they've had falling outs with the guy, and he's done horrible things to them, and they call him just a chit chat. So I saw that and was like, well, I can't, you know, watch this. Somebody, I think it was like the third person sent me the link to the video, and I was like, whatever, what is this? And then eventually I was like, damn, this guy is like really sounds like he's in trouble, man. I just like, I can't watch anybody. You know, if I can make a difference by calling, then that meant you have to do it. You know, I had to do it. You know, I don't care what terrible things he's done to me and everybody else. It's the right thing to do, man, to call someone when that's going on and try to stop something or try to make them snap out of it a little bit. So that's why I did that. I don't care what shit's gone down, you know what I mean? Unless you tried to, maybe if you tried to kill me or something, I wouldn't, you know, help you out, or tried to kill my family or something. But, you know, obviously, I will always make things right with, I'll always make things right with people too that are good, you know what I mean? Like me and Dave Rose have had, our fights, and, you know what I mean? He's back a million times over, you know. Sometimes it's been Dave's fault, I think. Sometimes it's been my fault. But me and Dave, you know, I'll always forgive anybody who's, you know, I'll forgive anybody, or who will forgive me, you know. And on top of that, who will, you know, who really is a good person, or who really is a decent person, you know, who deserves to be forgiven, or, you know, or whatever, or just we want to have fun together, you know. So, yeah, I mean, we've done some horrific shit to each other, and he's on the show, and we're all cool and everything, so, you know, and same thing, so that's why, you know, you never let somebody like that in that situation. I could never do it, man. It's important to pick people up, you know. Because a lot of people have picked me up, you know. A lot of people have picked me up on these shows and things like that. In fact, I think I'm going to make this episode free. I have a lot of note-to-selves on here on Patreon. I think I'm just going to release this on Corrupted or somewhere free, so everybody can hear this, so everybody can try to feel good today and help someone out and whatever, because so many people help me. So many of you guys have helped me. You know, and now I'm eating breakfast and watching a squirrel run away with some of my stuff on my porch. What a little bastard. Get back here, squirrel. Jesus, that thing is running away, brother. Man, I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything really last night. I think at some point I got wicked hungry during the show too, and I grabbed these little tiny sandwiches I bought for like $1. They're like these little round Italian rolls. Well, it's like a wrap. It's like a wrap that was cut up like 7 times, or 7 doesn't make any sense, 8 or 6, but Yeah, it was 6 times. It was a wrap that was cut up 6 times, 3 by 3. And, you know, little pieces, and you eat it like it's a cracker almost. But, you know, it's thicker than that. But, you know, it's like an inch thick. Yeah. But no, so I ate like 3 of those during Monetize This, and I was like, there we go, I ate dinner, cool. And then and then this morning I'm like, I haven't really slept. I laid down, kind of passed out for a second, woke up to my kid awake, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting up. And I just was starving, and it's like, well, no wonder I'm starving. I haven't goddamn eaten anything, you know? Stupid idiot. My finger got all jammed the other day in the thing, jacked it up. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Corrupted tonight, but I'm hoping I get some sleep before it. Because Drew's not going to be on tonight, so it's going to be me, Junebug, Jesse, and I think Rose might be on too. So it'll be 4 of us. If anybody goes missing, there'll still be 3 of us, so that's good. And then we'll throw someone else on, or have some fun, or do something fucking crazy or something. We'll figure it out. I don't know. It'll be wild. But damn, what a night. What a night. And congratulations to Jman from KC, bro, for reeling it in. That championship run. 2 weeks in a row. If you can do it 3 weeks in a row, damn. Dude, he blew it away tonight. And I really gotta thank him, man, because on top of that, he went overboard and he donated for no reason, just other than, I mean, there was a reason to help the show and help us. The game was already over. He'd already won the crown, and he's like, boom, here's another bomb. So I really got to say thank you to J-Man from KC. We've been shouting him out as the king, but you got to shout him out as a supporter. In fact, I think I might have to add his name to the top donation list. I might have forgotten to do that. I know Sith Negan's been in rough shape. But normally he'd be someone that would remind me of that. Like, hey, dude, you got to add this guy. And I can't tell you how many times somebody in this community or somebody who's around is like reminding me of stuff. And probably a million times. People remind me of stuff all the time. They'll remind me 10 times. I'll forget 9 of those 10 times. But that one time that they say it for the 10th time and they go, Joe, again, you forgot. You didn't add this. And then I go, fuck, you're right. And then I go and do it. And so without them persisting and telling me, you know, I wouldn't have gotten it done. So it's all the people that email me sometimes or on the side DM me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times even, because they know me. They know that I'm not going to be mad at them, like that I won't be mad at you for harassing me, because it's not harassment. I see it as help. And people know that I have like ADD and I forget things really easily, and then I forget, and I actually need the help to be reminded of things sometimes. And so I appreciate that people, you know, do repetitively email me, because it really, I don't, and you never hear me go on air and go, what the fuck, you know, John, you sent me 7 emails. You know, I don't do that, because I get what you're doing and you get me and we all get each other. Like, you guys really help me out with that. And, you know, unless it's some real dickhead who actually is a dickhead, you know, I don't, you know, I never blast anybody unless it's, you know, they're saying some shit about somebody's wife or some kind of lie or some shit. Because a lot of people lie about me, and a lot of people, you know. And there's nothing you can really do about that. It doesn't really matter. But sometimes it does when it affects you and people go, what the fuck's up with this? And then you go, what the fuck? I didn't do that. What the hell does that have to do with me? But, you know, you gotta do it sometimes. My office is almost done. I know that I know that Himmelgod doesn't watch anymore, really. But, you know, I carved his name into the closet. It's still there, all shitty. But when the room gets really done, I am going to be putting up kind of like a Hall of Fame type of thing in the room. And it's going to be nice. It's not going to just be like, you know, carved into the wall like I did. I'm going to be like putting it on a cool thing, and we'll see what that looks like later. And I think I'm going to carve all the producers into it, you know, which I think is anybody who's dropped over $3,000 or something like that. all time. So I'm going to carve that. It means a lot to me. It really does. I see some of those names, whether it's past people that are gone from the community. That does make me a little sad, because I feel bad that they're not around to hear the praise or to hear that how appreciated they were or whatever. And I hope they know how much they were. You know, I mean, we've said it a million times, though, that, you know, and so people get sick of hearing you praise them, but you got to do it, man. We don't have commercials on this show, so the commercial is the plugging and the, you know, the response to the donations and things like that. So, you know, you just can't say it enough for all these people. And, yeah, I mean, and even the people that, I don't know, just it's going to be really cool to do that. Some of those people will never even know that we did it, but I'll know that we did it, and that's what, and, you know, I guess you'll know that we did it, so that's what matters. What's up, bye? You thirsty? Your belly thirsty? What do you want to drink?
Orange juice.
Orange juice?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get you some orange juice. Go with your eggies. Okay, let's get orange juice going. People I'm talking to paid for it. It sucks that I lost that job, man, because of COVID. The job I was doing, because I was super excited to do that job, and of course, right as I get something and everything's going good, all of a sudden a pandemic hits. I'm like, what the fuck? But I had to give that job up, man. I see Max asked me in the chat last night, what happened to that? Why do you never talk about it? Like, what do you, blah, blah. And it's like, well, dude, what the frig is that? Hate to admit it, but what the fuck was that? But, yeah, there were people at that job that were there longer, and they needed the full-time work, and they had families and stuff, so I was like, alright, I'm out of here, see ya. So, this was bad luck, man. I waited months to get that, too, but what are you gonna do, you know? It's just, there was people, like, they asked for anybody who doesn't, you know, need to be here. You can just drop off now, and we won't have to lay anybody off. And I was like, oh my god, are you serious? And, you know, I don't know, there was a couple people in my same class or whatever that trained with me that, you know, mothers and stuff like that who were doing that to keep their rent and keep their houses and keep all kinds of things. Like, hey, my husband got laid off, and so I'm doing this, or, you know, we don't make enough to afford our food and other things, so I'm doing this as a part-time too. And, you know, you talk to them about it and everything, and then next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you get word that, hey, anybody who can resign, please resign, because otherwise we're going to start laying people off. And it's like, what? And, you know, I know that some people would be like, oh, fuck that, I'm staying, I ain't going to say nothing. And hope I won't be one of the new people that gets taken away, but I don't know, dude. It wasn't a big deal, and it was really important to some of these other people, and there's no way I could have stayed there. Especially if I didn't get laid off and they got laid off. Like, I would have, dude, I would have had nightmares for the rest of my life. So I was like, all right, we'll see you. And hopefully none of them got laid off, and hopefully other people quit or gave up their role, or hopefully the management, really, I never found out, but I hope the management, like, looked at people's situations and they were like, all right, you're single, you know, well, you're done. You know, and, you know, hopefully they didn't lay off mothers and family people. That would have been terrible. I'm lucky. I'm so lucky to have this show and to have Patreon and to have the live donations and the support on the channel. If I didn't have that, man, that would suck. Obviously, we'd be screwed, but, you know, I have that, so why the fuck would I, you know, I can always get another different part-time job, you know, and besides, I'm good at phones, I'm good at working at home, so, you know, sales, anything, I can do all kinds of stuff, I can always get another job, you know, so, if I need part-time work. And if Leah always wants to work, and I'm like, no, don't do it, you gotta take care of the kids. So, I mean, she could get some too. I could work a part-time, she could work a part-time, and then I could be doing this still too. So we could both work part-times. I could work 20 hours a week, 15 hours a week. She could work 20, 15 hours a week. And we could bring in, you know, an extra, there's your orange juice, buddy. You know, $400 or $500 a week doing that. So, you know, you never know. And that might be something when the pandemic's over, or even when it's going on, that happens, you know. But obviously, I owe a lot of bills and a lot of stuff. I don't really have extra money, so it's important to keep going and killing it and doing as well as we can. And if you are listening to this, check out Patreon, man. Because this is Note to Self, where I ramble. It's kind of like my rambling podcast, or most of the time I'm just on my phone talking to you guys through my phone. It's something I've been doing for years, and I like it because it's usually off the cuff. Like, I don't know, you know. The best is when I'm out traveling around and I do them, because then I'm like observing people and shit. Those are the best ones. This one's more like a somber, hey, what's up? You know, we just got done monetize this. It's 8 a.m. now, type of deal. But on Patreon, man, we got Drew and Jesse's show kicking still. Me and Jake are going to have our stuff coming as soon as me and Jake can hook up. He was in the hospital, and the other day I was busy with the kids, so we missed each other again. Jake is just always, the dude's like a broken down car, you know. Every second he's in the hospital for insulin, or he's swelling, or he's got an infection, or he's sick, or he's got sinus things, or his brain issues, or his weight issues, or his sickness, or medications are fucking up, or the guy is just under shit all the time, man. And I mean, it's so bad that people think he makes it up, dude, and he does not make it up. Like, I can tell you firsthand. Like he'll call me from the hospital sometimes, and we'll talk, and he'll be in the hospital fucking bed, or he'll be in the waiting room and he's bored. Like, and it's all the time. And even sometimes back early on when he did this, I used to think, hey, maybe he's like just got like some kind of issue, or he's no, dude. This guy's always Jake is always sick and stuff, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? You know, it's unbelievable, man. What he goes through, I can't even imagine. At his age, I mean, sure, that, yeah, there are people obviously with cancer or missing limbs, or like, you know, people with, you know, major issue. Like, I would say the only other issue that could be as challenging would be like somebody with like palsy or cerebral palsy or something like that. Other than that, you know, Jake's the next step after that. The guy's always in the office. I mean, somebody with severe diabetes or something like that, you know. And it's, you know, sometimes I think of Jake and I think of that. My kids is a big deal. It's my kids and Jake mostly, you know, that makes me think, like, don't drink, you know. And I know that a lot of people, like, I'm really funny when I get drunk, and I get crazy when I drink. And I know that a lot of you guys miss me getting drunk every week on Monetize This. You know, I used to get hammered every week on Monetize This, every single week. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, man, I wish you still got drunk every week on Monetize This. You know, I agree, it was really funny. And it would kind of lead to, you know, by the end of the night, I was jacked up, you know. But I got pretty concerned with, you know, some of the pain on my left side that I would get when I drank. And I looked up, you know, it could be a little bit of a kidney thing and some other things. And you just know it's not good, so. Damn, it's nice outside right now. It's a beautiful day right now outside. But I just know it's, you know, it's going to catch up with you. You know, even just doing it once a week like I was doing it. You know, I'm 36, you know. I've been getting kind of tanked off and on since I was 20. You know, 16 years of, you know, at least once every couple weeks getting wrecked. That can't be good, you know. I honestly probably did a lot of damage to myself that, like if I don't know when I'm going to die. Hopefully I don't die soon. You know, hopefully I'm not one of those 30-year-olds that gets some kind of jacked up thing that happens. Because I want to be there for my kids, because my dad was, you know, I lost my dad when I was 8. And so, you know, that's just one of the things is I drink a lot of water now. I drink a lot of cranberry juice mixed with water. And, you know, I take a lot of vitamin C, and I'm losing weight. I need to lose another 20 pounds. I've lost 20 pounds, and now I need to lose another 20. And so we're going to get there, I think. Yeah, so I just want to get myself set for when, I'm trying to get myself set So by 37, I'm almost in the shape I want to be in, if not sooner. And then that's it. And then I'm in a mode, I'm in a way of a life that's different from my earlier 30s and 20s. And leading into my 40s, you know, that I'm pretty clean into my 40s with everything, you know, and, you know, less McDonald's and things like that, and almost not any McDonald's. I think I've eaten McDonald's 8 times to 10 times this year, and that's really good for me. Some people would say, Jesus, 10 times this year. But I mean, I know people that have McDonald's once a week, once every other day, whatever. So that's been a big thing. So I hope I can keep that going. I just want to be better. I'm really not. I haven't been in good shape for my family, so I want to be in good shape. Although the good news is if I do die, they get a chunk of money, I guess, right? So, but no, man, you want to be there, and I want to be there for everybody or whatever. But, you know, a little bit of stress, no doubt. And I think the stresses over the years, you say, oh, why'd you drink back when you were 24 and 23 and all these other things? Well, it's because, like, depression. You know, you're constantly depressed, and you're like, let's just get loaded, I guess, you know? Even 10 years ago, you know, I was still kind of drinking pretty heavily in 2009 and 10. And about 2010, I stopped doing what I used to do, so I would say that I had really bad years, like 2003 to 2011. I really got pretty smashed, you know. But yeah, it's never too late to try to let your body heal itself and repair damage and things like that. But sometimes it is too late, so that doesn't make any sense. Never too late doesn't make sense. Sometimes it is too late. Or sometimes, you know, you've really damaged it, but nothing's shown yet. You know, but you want to stop before you start feeling the side effects or damage or something like that. Drinking some water. You want some H2O? Do you want some H2O from me? Do you want some freaking H2O? Do I have any other questions here? I'm looking through the comment section of my videos. Some people usually ask questions in them. What is this? Raphael. Yo, what up, Raphael? He says, Joe, I barely comment and I don't donate and all these other things. I'm going to throw you a few bucks next week. And I wanted to say that it's good to hear that Jesse's still on the show, man. I've been listening since 2013. If you can believe it, I was 16 years old and in a bad way. And I didn't write to you. What does this say? Well, I gotta look at the computer screen again. I didn't write to you. I'm on Leah's laptop upstairs and I can't read off of this. I didn't write to you at all back then or about it, but you guys really helped me, and I really identify with Jake when he said he found you when he was in the hospital. I found you when I was in a dark depression and would listen to you guys on the regular, just like I listened to other shows as well. And without YouTube, I don't know what I would have done. Maybe watch TV or watch maybe the radio. I don't know. But I just want to say thank you, and it's crazy that I've been listening this long, and now I'm working at a good job, and I'm much older. I'm in my mid-20s. Wow, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. I can't even believe that, man. Some people grew up listening to this show, you know? Or not this show, but, you know, my Joe Cronin show about wrestling and the other things we did. It's too bad that some of the former guys don't get to hear some of these things, especially, you know, like, you know, Tommy and Dave and Tosevich, you know, I'm sure they'd love to hear some of these comments, but that's really cool, man. That's really cool. And, you know, it makes me think of how I used to listen to these shows that I grew up listening to, because I've said it a million times that, man, when I was a little kid, it's crazy that I know that you guys have probably heard this a million times, but my generation, you guys know what I'm talking about, my generation who are listening, people from, you know, people who are older than me and people who are in their, you know, early 30s even maybe, 30 and up, You guys know what I'm talking about? Because when we were little kids, or at least when I was a little kid, up until the age of 7, we only had 12 stations. We had rabbit ears on a TV, and the signal was broadcast over the air. And you know, I lived in New Hampshire, and I got, you know, there were like 5 channels to watch, you know, and everybody was watching them, you know. And if you and the most exciting thing to do besides TV was to listen to the radio. And it's crazy because, like, it sounds like barbaric almost, but think about radio, man. Radio's been going on since the early 1900s, right? Or 1800s, right? There's been radio. You know, every generation grows up listening to radio. Even right now, you guys grew up listening to radio. Even if you're 16, you know what the radio is. It's on in your fucking cars. You know, and if you don't listen to the regular radio, you listen to podcasts now, or you listen to Sirius satellite radio, which is not really radio, but whatever. And it's crazy because even when I was a kid, I used to think, man, how archaic is that our parents didn't have TV, that they used to sit around a radio and listen to a radio. And we used to think that reminded you of like old people and old times. But the funny thing was, I did that. You know what I mean? I laid in my bed with my radio on. And, you know, some of the most exciting things you could listen to was radio because, you know, TV was pretty programmed and whatever else. And it wasn't until I got cable when I was about 8 years old when I got cable, 8 or 9, we got cable, and it was like, that was fun and interesting because you'd be surfing around like on cable. I think we had about 130 channels at that time. And you'd be like clicking around like, what's this channel? There would be weird channels like the Fight Channel or like the Up All Night Channel or MTV Music Television, and Nickelodeon was launched at some point. And, you know, HBO's and, you know, the USA Network and all those things were launched. And you'd have such a blast to like flipping around, like trying, you know, like, what's this channel? What's that channel? It's so weird. And, you know, not everybody would be watching them all. And, you know, so sometimes late at night, there'd be some crazy, weird movies or shows on. So that was always what was fun. There was no internet, right? There was no internet. There was no YouTube. There was no any surfing on the internet. There was no phones, you know. You had a landline in your house, and if you're lucky, you had cable or satellite, right? And, you know, it's crazy that that's what was going on. And even when the internet came out and everybody started getting the internet, and we did have it early, we had it in about 1994. You know, I was 10 years old when we first got the internet, the dial-up internet. Like fucking dialing up. You know, you couldn't watch TV on the internet at that time, really, and you couldn't really do anything. If you were lucky, you could find some, like a 30-second video or a 10-second video you could download. That was really it. You know, the only thing you did on the internet was chat rooms and web pages with information and stuff like that. There really wasn't anything you could really do, you know, until about like 1998, 1997 or so, and then things got a little better and whatever. And that's when finally video and you know, live radio stations, you start finding internet radio stations, but nobody really used them and did anything with them. And so but still in 1998, you were still, you know, staying up, checking out the radio. And when I was a kid, I always listened to stand-up comedians was the first audio entertainment that I enjoyed was radio. It was Howard Stern. It was always Howard Stern and Loveline. I really loved Loveline. I always loved Coast to Coast, with the, you know, conspiracy talk or alien talk, obviously. Those were all things that I loved. And also, there was a station that would repeat or re-air the Mad Cow from Chicago, right? The guy from Chicago, he was a really interesting guy. I didn't catch that one a lot, but once in a while I'd catch it. So I was super into radio and super into comedians, stand-up comedians. One of the first stand-ups that I loved was, you know, Bill Cosby himself, George Carlin, always George Carlin. I don't think I was able to I didn't hear Richard Pryor until later on because I wasn't allowed to listen to it or whatever. And I really wasn't allowed to listen to Carlin too much either, but I think I got away with it somehow because I think I think he was played on the radio, some of his stand-up, and they like blanked out the bad words really, and so that wasn't a big deal. And you know, and then the comedy was the other thing. Listening to comedians talk and be funny was entertaining to me. Like, and a lot of times radio would be more interesting to me than kind of like how you're listening to this right now. You're not seeing me, you're just hearing me. And sometimes for some reason it's more interesting to have to sit back and listen without having to watch a screen. Sometimes you get exhausted actually watching a screen and you end up putting it down. You guys do it all the time. It's a video, but you put it down. You don't really watch the video. You just are listening to the person. Unless they're doing something that everybody's laughing about and you're like, I got to pick up the phone and look at what are they doing? That's so crazy. What are they talking about? But mostly you're painting the picture with your own brain, and that's the funnest thing about it. And that will never change with humans, you know. So there's a thing about that I enjoy, and sometimes it's more fun to just listen than have to watch something. And I think there's a resurgence of that now with podcasts, because people don't even realize it. They don't even realize that they love listening to audio, because then they can use their eyes to look around and do things, but they're focused on what they're listening to so intently. It's a great connection and a way of communicating that I just love more than anything. I've always enjoyed that. I don't mind being on camera either, because that's obviously I don't mind that, but it's just so fun to be talking into a microphone without anything else. I don't have to worry. No one's looking at me. I'm just speaking, or entertaining with voice or ideas and things like that. But video is, you know, that oh, people are gonna see this and people are gonna see that. So you know, but yeah, it's crazy to think about how the change of the internet and everything has happened, and the nostalgia is wild in my head with you know, everybody now has, hey, I can look on my phone at anything. You know what I mean? And one of the things I feel like you don't, it's the same thing, because you can search YouTube and find something by accident. So in many ways, there's a lot more ways you can find entertainment or creativity or people that you want to listen to. In many ways, there's more ways than ever to find it. But in other ways, there's some that's missing, because if you don't listen to the radio anymore at all, and you don't listen to MTV, who used to play music videos one time, there used to be a fun thing about somebody sort of telling you or giving you stuff to listen to, like, here's what we're doing. And you could turn it on, and you'd be like, let me turn on this station, let's see what they're doing. Okay, I don't like that. Let me turn to this station, see what they're doing. Okay, I don't like that. Let me turn to this station. Oh, shit, this is pretty good. You know, and I think that type of variety or ability to run into something that you love, or you find out that you love, is a little bit gone. A little bit. You can still find it again, like I said, through YouTube and searching podcasts, but you really have to search hard and on your own and really try to find things. And unless you're looking for a specific thing or topic, that's how you find it now. You look for a specific thing or topic, where on the radio, you could just be browsing around and catch somebody talking and be like, I like this guy. I'm going to listen to this. You know, it's much harder now, I feel like. It's the same thing with music. Like, hey, I want to hear some new, like, fucking rock music and stuff, and I don't know where to go for that. And it's like, you really can't go anywhere. There's no TV channel that does it anymore. You know, MTV would show tons of mainstream music, but then, you know, once in a while, late at night or something like that, they would play random bands or a random featured thing. Or, you know, whatever, somebody would on some channel, or there'd be late night shows, and you discover all this music. And you can still discover music now, but it's just, it's harder, because there's so much shit. And, I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some YouTube channels out there that focus on new bands and discovering music and things like that. But it's just, it's not like MTV. MTV had millions and millions of people watching them. Now MTV is just horse shit. So it's like, it's weird. It's discovering stuff now it's weird. It's easier in a way, but it's also harder in another way. And some people would just go to record stores. That's the other thing. You know, you go to a CD store, or they used to call it record stores, then we called it like, hey, go on the CD. I call it the CD store sometimes, but it's the record store, tape store, whatever, the music store. You know, and you just walk around and you look at shit and you go, hey, look at this band, looks cool, let me pick this up. But now, you know, most of these stores, all they carry is the old stuff that was awesome and the mainstream stuff. But back in the day, you could go into a record store and, yeah, they would have all the mainstream stuff, but half of the store would be filled with all this crazy underground stuff or things that you hadn't really heard of, but the record labels and everybody were doing so good that they could sign all these bands. Now you can't do that. But the positive side of things is, now you can be a band and you don't need a record label and you can just release your own music and try to promote it on YouTube and get word of mouth going, like, hey, did you see this guy's music videos? It's crazy. And then you can keep all the money for yourself instead of hiring, you know, managers and, you know, record labels and stuff. And you guys can have 20,000 fans in the United States, and you can tour play in front of 150 people a night and make a little, barely make a living, or at least make some money and go to your part-time job. You know, I don't know. But the days of the super bands and, you know, things like that are kind of, I don't know. It's a weird trade-off, and it's interesting to think about. But there's oh, what's up, buddy? You throw the ball at me? You okay? Yeah. Throw it at the bed. See it rolls down the bed. Chuck it at the bed. Let's see if it rolls down. Whoa! It didn't work. Yeah. Finn's down here playing basketball. Oh, okay, I see. Well, guys, I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm going to go play ball with him. Lots of interesting stuff here at the end. I feel like I could get way more into a lot of this stuff. And I feel like we could do a whole more time on talking about entertainment and where radio is gone and where the internet is and podcasting and all these things. You know, it's really interesting stuff to me, and it's real nostalgic to me. Thanks, buddy. And, you know, I think we'll get to some more of it later because I'm interested in talking more about it and remembering some things. But yeah, one of my first stand-ups I really ever heard was, I kind of didn't say this, but it was actually Denis Leary's No Cure for Cancer. You know, I heard it on the radio, I think, and they blanked out some things, obviously. Which Denis Leary, he stole most of that material from, oh God, I don't remember the name now. It's sacrilege if I don't say the guy's name, because they always say Alex Jones looks like the guy. He doesn't look anything like him. Bill Hicks. It's Bill Hicks. They say I look like Bill Hicks. I don't even know what the hell. No, but yeah, Bill Hicks. You know, Denis Leary ripped off a lot of that material from Bill Hicks, and I love Denis Leary, but you know, you really got to give it to Bill Hicks and some of the other people, and you got to wonder why Denis Leary did that shit. You know, but he really did the material. He sort of brought the material to life in a comedic way that, you know, Bill Hicks was more like dark and musing about it. And, you know, Leary kind of brought this uppity, more, I guess, mainstream version of what Bill Hicks was doing. But, I mean, he ripped off Bill Hicks. You got to say it. You got to call it out, man, and say that the guy ripped him off, you know. I mean, what are you going to do? He really did. It's not a cool thing what he did. It's bad. But at the same time, he created great art with it. But, you know, I don't know. So, but I still love it. I love that Denis Leary special. And, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a double thing, too, because, you know, Bill Hicks got the cancer and stuff probably from some of the smoking, right? And yet Denis Leary to this day goes on, you know, it's like, what kind of cruel irony is this? But yeah, anyway, that was one of the George Carlin and Denis Leary were some of the first stuff I heard, you know. And Steve Martin, I always leave out Steve Martin, Steve Martin was, I take it back because I talked about all these comics I first heard, even Bill Cosby himself. And, of course, Bill Cosby himself and Steve Martin, the reason why I heard them first was because they were PG, actually. Or not PG, but they were, well, whatever. They didn't swear. They were clean, right? Like, Bill Cosby himself is, like, pretty clean, mostly. You know, Steve Martin, who I love, I used to love impersonating. Hey, it's me, Steve Martin. I'm here to talk about Saturday Night. I'll be on Saturday Night Live. I'll be swallowing every cast member, you know. I used to love his voice. I loved Steve Martin's voice. He's one of the first voices that I heard that I was like, I'm going to be like that guy, you know. He's got this projected voice. I think he sounds smart, so therefore he is. Oh, now he's touching me behind an alleyway. He had that kind of voice. And obviously George Carlin. And so, like, all these people, like, these are people that I heard from age, you know, from the age between 5 and 10 that really, like, influenced me in those ways, or entertained me and whatever else. Yeah. Now you get 2 balls. Yeah, he found 2 balls, everybody. Well, we all find them eventually. Luckily, I was in a little shop of horrors where the plant tried to eat my privates. I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not even doing them well right now, but, you know, you get the idea. Oh! Whoa! What?
Just go in there.
Oh, that's funny. Alright, I'm going to come play ball. Alright, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go play ball. I hope you enjoyed this free episode of Note to Self, available here for you to listen to. I love you all, man. Thank you all for the questions and the comments and for being subscribed. And, of course, to everybody who supports Corrupted Nation and Joe Cronin Show and all my other channels like Evil Spectrum 3 and Shame on News and my Patreon, and who are patrons who normally support this show and listen to it on Patreon. Here is a free episode for everybody. I hope you enjoyed going down the rabbit hole with me here on this episode. If you made it all the way through this episode to the end here, I hope down in the comments below you write hashtag rabbit hole. All right, just hashtag rabbit hole. And say, and give me feedback, whatever you want to say. I'd love to read it. But write hashtag rabbit hole, and I'll know you made it through the whole damn thing. And everybody else will be reading those things and being like, what the frig, rabbit hole? What the hell is he talking about? And that's about it, man. I'll catch you next time. Love you all, and thank you so much for being here. And I hope if you're not a patron, you think about signing up on Patreon. It's only $5 a month, or it's $1 a month if you want to do $1. But you get the most out of it if you're on the $5 spot. And thank you to all the $25 patrons. And, you know, I really got to shout you out, to be honest, because without the $25 producers and above, these are people that are above even, you know. I mean, it's one thing. It's pretty wild to go to the producer level, but to also go higher than the producer level is just insanely, awesomely crazy. So shout out to Junebug, Jman from KC, Jerome Spicer, man, thank you. TonyFromReveah, who's launching his YouTube stuff. Mikey Gwaz from Brooklyn, what is up, Mike? ConstipatedRock, an OG. ColdBrewKrew, man. Grab a beer for the ColdBrewKrew, man. What's up? Steveo, Duane Crenshaw. Those guys have been just killing it for a while. DanH&Cora, love you too. Joseph Lightsey. The man, the top patron, Sith Negan. Arknolia Strokelbean. He was on Monetize this last night too. Starscream, a super OG, over 6 years here. Starscream, man. Gary Metzler, Brokenlion, Gerald Armstrong, NickY J, Smoke Up on Diablo, GARGUTS Entertainment, Brian Harper, John Zippay, Frog Kid, Adtr 210, Gordon Bombay, Talk to Me Nice, Drew Bar 100, CJ Bradley, Spiderland Leafs fan, Matt Rossmeier, and another super OG, The Bear 1322, and go get it. Jason Tarr, Kalel Bama, and one of the top all-time donators of all time, and a super OG, JDVenom. Thank you guys. I'm out. Kisses. And I'll see you next time. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you tonight live on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show with Corrupted Podcast. It starts tonight at 1 a.m., which is technically Sunday, but tonight at 1 a.m., you know. After midnight tonight, it's 1 a.m. We're live with Corrupted. Bring it on, bitch. See them. Thank you guys very much.